How's it going, everyone? Thank you so much for joining me on this Friday. We made it. It's Friday. It's Friday. Yay. We will begin in just a moment. If you give me just a second and just sit back, relax, and the live stream will start momentarily. How is everyone doing this Friday? Did you have a good week? I hope you did. And I hope you have some great plans for the weekend too. And if you don't, that's fine. Just relaxing on the weekends, it's totally okay. Okay. Let's get started. One second. Whoop and whoop. Hey, how's everyone doing? Thank you so much for joining me again. Like I said, it's Friday. We made it. Yes. You are awesome. Now, as we continue with our journey of learning React with Inertia, let's review what we have so far. So last week, I think we made some good progress with the forum, didn't we? I'm not even, you know what I should do? I just noticed that I'm probably not sharing this with anyone. I have the repo here, but it's not shared. We should change that. So we have the post controller and we have the create method, which returns the create.jsx, which uses the post form.jsx, and we have a bunch of inputs here. Actually, I remember now. So we have some inputs, let me see, but we decided to work on the dropdowns this week. I think we are going with just a simple enum class for one of drop downs, and that's what we are going to start doing today. I can't remember what's this. I think it was test sample, and password is super secure password. So yeah, we just have 2 inputs, and we are going to continue adding more following with, let me just go and double check our inspiration for this. A lot of jobs like this, yes. So we're going to add a dropdown for the employment type, and then just all of the other inputs. We could maybe start working with a file, but we'll see. Let's see how it goes. But before we do that, let me create a repo for this so that you guys can see the code and share it and take a look at it. This is not zoomed in. Okay, so let's head over to GitHub. Guess we just need this part here. Copy that. Let's go over here. I need another terminal, like so. Paste it. And this. And finally, I need to add everything though. Will be our main branch, the starting point. All right, code is up. Have fun with it. All right, now we can let's create a new branch so that we can work on, yeah, the form. All right, cool. The first thing I should do is figure out, well, let me refresh my memory on enums because that's me. Can't keep anything in here. Looking for enums here, please. Enum casting, validation, retrieving enum input values. This is kind of what I want. Value, value, value. Is there a way I can just retrieve all of the values from an enum? Did I create a class already? App, enums. Yeah, I did. It's empty though. Case value equals case key equals value. Case, let me take a look at how many do we have and which ones are there. So let's start with full-time, part-time, contractor. Case full-time. Oh, I have to give it a type. If you give them a value, you need a type. So this is string. There you go. Before we continue, I need to figure out how to return all of the values from an enum. Get Tinkerwell real quick. Let's see. Employment type. Cases. From full-time, try from about cases. What does this give me? All right, so that's what I'm looking for. This will give me an array where every item in the array is an employment type. It's an employment type app enums employment type. So the same type as the enum. So basically an array with 3 enum classes. So if I do employment types, something like this, and I can reference one with employment types. Let's say the first item, we can do value. What's that? That's what? Hold on, hold on, hold on. Oh, I have to do what? This? No. Hold on. Of course, I need an equal sign. There you go. Oh, thank you. It's a property, not okay. Got it. Hi, Douglas. You sneaky. How you doing, man? Happy Friday. Thank you so much for being here. That means I can do type value like that. All right, and name, it's the other thing. Good. So I'm going to use, I should use, yeah, it's okay. I guess what I can store in the employment type column, it's just the value, like so. Yeah. I remember employment type, that was a string, wasn't it? Create post table. Yeah, it's just a string. Cool. Right, so we can just store that value in this column. No problem. All right, let's start working on that real quick. First of all, let's go to the controller, posts controller. We're gonna need, as we are passing right now, nothing actually. Let's get employment. Wait. All right, just like that. Then pass that down to the create component. And of course, we need to pass this as a prop to the post form. But also, we need to receive that prop. Wait, am I getting? Yeah, that should not be there. We're not passing anything, but we are now. So employment types props. Post form is going to take in an employment types. And I believe this is how we do it. So we now go to the post form.jsx, go all the way up and add one more prop here called employment types. All right, now we need a dropdown. I don't think we have a component for it, but we can create one. Check. Resources, JS, components. Button, check that, checkbox, drop down. That's a different drop down. Yeah, let's create one. I'm going to take a look at the, what is it? The input, text input, actually. What is forward ref, by the way? That's a new one for me. Hold on. I gotta learn. React.dev, learn. I think this is from React, yes. Forward ref. Forward ref lets your component expose a DOM node to parent component with a ref. Huh. Forward ref returns a React component that you can render in JSX. Unlike React components defined as plain functions, a component returned by forward ref, it's also able to receive a ref prop. We're receiving a ref prop? Yes, we are. But it has a ref, but how are we using it? Use imperative handle. That's a new one too. Use imperative handle is a React hook that lets you customize the handle exposed as a ref. Lets you customize the handle. Hey, Thirsty Pooch. How you doing, man? Happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining me. How's your Friday so far? I hope it's going great. Here I am just reading documentation because there is a couple of things that I don't understand. So use imperative handle. Use imperative handle at the top level of your component to customize the ref handle it exposes. Okay. And what are we doing with it? Just modifying the focus, local ref, current, focus. Okay. Then we have a use effect. If it's focused, local ref, which is the local handle, I guess. Current focus. Use focus. Is focused. Not really sure I understand 100% what is going on here. It basically has to do something with, it has to do with the focus of the input. Not exactly sure why or what. Text input. That's what, where is this coming from? It's just a function. Hmm. Okay, I guess I can. What's that?
Khalil 123 subscribed to the channel. You're amazing.
Khalil, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. You're awesome, dude. I think I can use most of this. I don't think it's going to be a problem if I use most of this code as is, even if I don't totally understand what it does with the focus thing. Um, and all I can do, or all I have to do, is modify, instead of returning an input, return a select. Now, the one difference is that I do have to pass an extra prop to this. No, maybe not. Maybe I just use a. Maybe I just have to use a slot. How did slots work? Do I have one here with a slot somewhere? just children. Yes, it's children. So it's children, the equivalent for slot. No, it's not. Um, Hello, Bright Rise. How you doing, man? Thank you so much for joining me. How's your Friday so far? I hope you're having a great day today. Slots. No. Props. Okay, these special React props are supported for all built-in components. Children, a React node, an element, a string, a number, a portal, an empty node, like a null, undefined, and booleans, or an array of other React nodes. Specifies the content inside the component. Specifies the content inside the component, period. When you use JSX, you will usually specify the children prop implicitly by nesting tags like div, span, div. Okay. So yeah, children is just a slot. So I guess I can use that to make a component that opens and closes, and then just pass the children in. Have you tried adding a service layer pattern to Laravel? Is it recommended? I could not tell you because I don't know. Service layer pattern. Let me check, see if there's something I can find. What's that about? Service layer is an architectural pattern applied within the service-oriented design paradigm, which aims to organize the services within a service inventory into a set of logical layers. Hmm. Honestly, I cannot tell you. I've never used it. I can tell you one thing though. Use it only if you are absolutely sure is going to make the maintenance of your application easier and not harder. Because I did have an experience where it wasn't a service layer pattern. What is it? Yeah, it was. I didn't use service layer pattern, but I did use um, a repository pattern in one of my projects at work. And to be honest, I didn't use it because it was necessary. I used it because I thought it was interesting and I was being cool. And because it was kind of a new thing. Why am I keep doing this? But the thing that I found out quite rapidly or quite early is that it made the maintenance and the debugging of the application a lot harder because it deviates from the standards of Laravel and the naming conventions and where everything should be. I'm talking, this was back in a version before version 8 of Laravel. But yeah, I realized that by using a pattern that moved things around, made it quite hard for me to maintain the application. And at the end of the day, later I end up rewriting the whole thing and just sticking with the Laravel defaults for controllers and service containers and everything else. I just went with whatever Laravel sets up as recommended or as good practice. I guess the short answer is only use a pattern like this one or any other pattern if you're absolutely sure that it's going to make your project easier to maintain and not harder. That's my only advice. Target X, greetings. Thank you so much, my friend. How's it doing? Happy Friday. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, let's try and do this. I'm going to create a new component here. And let's call it select input, just to stick with the naming convention, JSX. Hesdin, hey, finally, Inertia. Yes. Well, we've been doing this for like how long? 3 weeks already? No, it can't be that long. Maybe. But yeah, we're doing Inertia. Finally. Not only Inertia with React, which is turning out to be not quite as hard as I thought it was going to be, but there are things that do throw me off sometimes. JavaScript mostly. So yeah, I'm going to create a select input here. And I'm going to pretty much copy the text input as is. Yoink. Paste. How do you find React compared to Vue? Well, at this point, I find it quite difficult because, well, let me rephrase that. It's harder for me because I don't know it quite well. But if I need to be honest, I think I would find Vue just as difficult because how rusty I am and how little I get to interact with Vue. In terms of the language, I kind of like it. It has some interesting quirks, like yeah, this kind of use imperative handle, uh, built-in props when you're defining components, this forward ref thing that you expose a reference to the DOM when you define a component. Those are quite new concepts for me, so I'm having a little bit of a issue or a problem trying to wrap my head around it, mostly because it's something new. But I'm quite liking it so far. Yeah. If I had to choose, though, if I had the option to choose, I would probably go with Vue because it's is the most known of the two, the one that I'm comfortable with, more comfortable with at this point. Maybe that'll change, maybe not. So yeah, let's modify this to fit our use. So forward ref, I think I'm gonna keep that. Use effect, sure. Use imperative handle and use ref. I'm gonna keep all of those. Define forward ref so that we're exposing a DOM reference. This is going to change because now this, I am assuming this has to be the same name as the file. So this will be a select input. We don't need a type in this case. We can keep the class name is focused. I don't know if I need that. I don't think I do. Is React hard to learn? I went with Vue just because GPT said Vue is friendly for beginners. You should not outsource your critical thinking to an AI. You should try it by yourself. What you should do, instead of just going with Vue, you should try React. Use it. It doesn't mean that you have to go back on your decision if you are already using Vue for your current project. What you should do is, additionally, give yourself a small project and use React. Even if it is the same project that you're building right now, try to do it with React as well. And then compare the two in your mind. Was this one easier to learn than the other one? Was this language more friendly than the other one? Those kind of decisions you should make for yourself instead of letting GPT decide for you, because you might be missing out. Maybe it is friendlier than the other, or maybe you would find, even if it's not friendlier, maybe it's something that you find yourself more comfortable with. Maybe. So you should try it instead of let someone else decide for you. And to your original question, I I'm not finding it harder to learn than Vue. I think they are like in the same level. If I had to go back and think about the time when I started learning Vue, I think they are like in the same level of difficulty. I'm not finding it too hard right now. There, like everything, there are things that throw me off from time to time, because it's obviously it's a new thing, so it's always difficult. But if I like I said, I don't see it more. I don't see it harder to learn than Vue. Like they're just like at the same level. So I don't think I'm going to use is focused. I don't see any use for it in a select. On a text input, yes, maybe. On a dropdown, maybe not. So ref, that can stay in, but let's move it up here. Kind of like it in the same line. Then this is defining a local ref. I guess use ref, if I remember correctly from things that I've seen, that is just like the way of defining reactivity, or if something changes. So yeah, use ref is that's the thing with React. Everything works with hooks. That that thing I do remember from things I have seen. Everything is a hook or a function. UseRef is a React hook that lets you reference a value that is not needed for rendering. Oh, interesting. Not needed for rendering. We define it with initial value. Here's an example. Import useRef from React. Define a component. UseRef 0 initial value input ref interval ref. Hey X4, how you doing, man? Thank you so much for joining me. Happy Friday. We made it. Initial value, the value you want the ref object's current property to be initially. It can be a value of any type. This argument is ignored after the initial render. Returns an object with a single property, current. Initially, it's set to the initial value you passed. You can later set it to something else. If you pass the ref object to React as a ref attribute to a JSX node, React will set its current property. its current property. Oh, okay. So that means if I have this as no, the first time I use it, it's going to be no. So I don't have to provide like a dot value. Just use dot current actually. React just uses the dot current property when referenced in the render process, in the render component. Now we are changing that in these two methods here. You're doing well. Good Friday. I'm happy. I'm happy to hear that. So on use imperative, we have a focus method where we just return whatever the current value is plus the focus. When would, okay. Let me read about use imperative ref one more time. Imperative handle. Lets you customize the handle exposed as a ref. You pass the ref in the create handle, which is a callback function with one method. Yeah, I don't know what this is doing, to be honest. I don't know if I need to know it, but it bugs me that I don't know what it is doing. Okay, so my input props and ref, then use imperative handle, ref, and return your methods. And then at the end, an array. There is no array here. Ref is the ref you received as the second argument from the forward ref render function. Yeah, this one. It's the second parameter. Okay. Create handle is a function that takes no arguments and returns the ref handle you want to expose. So this here is a function that takes no arguments and just returns the ref handle you want to expose. So this is just returning a handle. Okay. And dependencies as optional. AC, hey, how you doing, man? Yeah, React. I'm trying to learn this. Going back a little, I need to create a drop-down component, like a select drop-down component, and I am copying whatever it is on the text input component that comes with Breeze. But these two things, forward ref, and use imperative handle, I'm kind of stopping a little bit there because I don't know what they're doing, and I do want to learn a little bit more. Inspiration? Sure. What do you have? Forward ref. So Chat CN drop down menu. Well, yeah. Oh, well, okay. That's a good point. I think I can go in. Well, but they're not gonna give me the inners, like the internal implementation of the component, is it? Are they? They're just telling me how to use the component. I don't want to use ShatCN just yet. I want to try and do it on my own first. You can get the code when you add the component into your project. Yeah, okay, that's a good point. And I am probably going to end up doing that. Just I don't want to add the entire ShatCN library or any component just yet. Let me just take a look at the drop down menu. How does it look? Not drop down menu, actually. It's select. The props are used to paste data from one component to another, like from the father component to the child. Yes, that's correct. And I'm mostly familiar with that concept because I am actually passing props in here. I know about the class name, so this select input will be a component that takes in class name and whatever other props I pass in, and they just mix in together. Forward ref, as far as I understand, is I'm just exposing a handle or a reference to the parent. That I understand. Is this imperative handle thing that I'm kind of confused on how they are using it to modify it and why the current has a focus method when this current refers to the initial value of use ref, which we are setting back to null, and then using it in the input HTML tag like this. So yeah, that the what's keeping me from moving forward is my lack of understanding of how this use imperative handle works. So that's what I'm trying to wrap my head around. If I can't do it in the next 5 minutes, I'll just move on and try to implement it the other way. So ShatCN select installation manual, you have the code for the select there. Yeah, I'm looking at it here. But again, I do need to install ShatCN UI. And I will at some point. Well, yeah, you can add the select. And even if I don't have to install the entire library and I can just pick and choose which components I want to add, I don't want. Oh, okay, so the code is here. Yeah, I get the point. And yeah, you are importing a select component basically, and you are using that select component in your application. You have to click on manual. Okay. Yeah, this is way too much for my brain right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at this and I'm just like blanking because there is so much stuff in here, even more stuff that the current component has. I mean, I was stumped by uh, I was stumped by this only. So looking at this, it's just giving me like a brain freeze. Like, "Mm, what is this?" I'm not at this level yet. And it's good that they have the code here for the entire component implementation, but I'm sure that there are so many stuff in here that is that goes beyond a simple select dropdown that I'd rather not complicate my life with this just yet. And I'm probably not even going to do that when I use the chat CN. If I get to the point where, okay, I'm going to use chat CN now, I'm just going to install the component and use it as is. So thank you for the recommendation. And I get your point that these are cool components and I'm going to end up using them. No doubt about it. But right now, I need to stick with the baby steps. And to be honest, because I removed the focus here, the focus prop, I think I'm just gonna not use. Oh, is focused. So this I'm probably not going to end up using because the is focused prop I removed. I'm gonna try and not use that and just leave the use imperative handle as it is and then modify the HTML. So let's try this. I'm gonna try and do a select. Please stop yelling at me. Thank you. And then I'm going to use the props as the one below. I don't need the type, so next one will be class name. I do want to use all of the classes from the text input. Yoink. Paste. Oh, come on, dude. If 0p, there you go. And I believe there is a plus sign at the end and then class name. And then let's use that ref. Bound to local ref. And then in here, I can use children. I probably need to pass that in because I'm not. They are passing it just before props in this other component. So I'm going to do that. Like that. And then I can just get rid of this input. And there you go. You come back after? Sure, no problem. So this, hoping it will work. What is this children thing? Probably me just failing. Let's remove that, not using it. And also let's remove, not the whole line. Let's remove that. Just, yeah, that's it. forward ref we're using here, imperative handle and use ref. Everything else should be fine. Now let's try and use this component and see if it works. Let's head back to the post form. We just need another div, an input label, HTML form, employment type, value, actually this should be employment type. And the value is employment type. Should be self-closing. Next up. Let's import, if I use it, will it import it by its own? Let's try it. Select input. There you go, nice. Guess we can just use it like that, open and close. And let's try it with a couple of options. Okay, not entirely bad. Has good, well, separation between the two is not great. Why would that be? Oh, because of this. Why is the margin top one not working in this case? Rounded border, shadow, focus, dark, dark, dark. Oh, that. Ah, that's a me problem. I think that's good, right? Margin top one. Yeah, looks good. There you go. That's our dropdown. Simple. Now we just need to render the options. Should be easy. Unruly hot fixer. Sorry I ignored you for so long. Hey, I agreed. Looking at ChatCN is too much. Yeah, especially when you are when you are in your infancy using React. So we'll get to it, and probably one day I will look at it and say, "Yeah, I see what you did there. Yeah, that's smart. Smart. Not yet. One day." How you doing, man? Happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining me. I don't know if I should. I don't think I need to create another component for the options, do I? I mean, I could make it just like the label where I can pass a value, label and value. But yeah, kind of want to though. Let's stick with this simple implementation where I can say I'm already receiving employment types, so I can do something like open and close brackets, and then employment types dot map, right? How did I use that on the index? Map and then the item. Okay, so it's a callback function, get the item and return JSX. Okay. So this will be employment type. And then return JSX like so. Which would be an option tag. Where the option, well, it's basically going to be the same value. We need a key though. I guess we can use employment type dot name for the key. Does that work? Did I break something? Eh, well, let me see what happened. Yeah, basically, I'm not accessing the right properties. Okay. Can I do this? Why am I back here? Oh, okay. It's just an array. Oh, interesting. So I guess the serialization process is just turning the array of employment type classes into just an array of strings. I did not know that. Okay, at least I can just use that. Let's go back here, post form, delete that line, and then here on the map, you just use employment type as is. Employment type, employment type, employment type. Why is it not? Okay, there it is. Okay. Do need one. Let me check something real quick. No, it's fine. Full-time, part-time, contractor, full-time. Full-time is always the default. There is no empty option, so we did it. Let's add more options here. Temporary, intern, volunteer. So now it's just a matter of going to the enum class, employment type.php. What was the other one? Temporary, intern, volunteer. Per diem. Per diem. What is per diem? And other. By the day. Why can't they just say by the day instead of per diem? Daily stipend designed to cover expenses incurred by employees during business travels. For each day. Okay. You learn something new every day. Or you learn something new per diem. Okay, so we have this already working. Why are you not refreshing? Okay. Good. Let's add the rest of the inputs. URL, company, and salary. I'm not hitting my keys today. Wow. There you go. You know what we should do? I like this little hint here. We should add a hint to this component. That means that we need to add something like this. It's just a P class with margin top, text small, and text grade 500. Let's do that. Should be optional. Is it 1? 2. How did I how did I say 2 and I go from C to S to 2? That's just insane. Margin top 2, text SM, and then something muted like text gray. What is it? 200, 500. But we also need a dark variant. What's the color that we are using right now for the labels? Label, input label. So it's gray 300, which looks like, where is it? Here? Looks like that. I guess we can use this. What color is that? 400. Okay, let's use 400. There you go. Nice, nice. Actually, before I continue, post form, I just noticed that this is like that URL. Next field would be company name and salary. with another hint. I'm going to copy that right away. No, I should not. Company name. Matthew Miranda. Hey man, how you doing? Thank you so much for joining me. I am switching to Inertia now because I want to learn, mainly because I want to learn React, something that I've always had in the back of my mind. So I decided, yeah, let's pick a simple project, nothing too complicated, and use it as a learning experience for me to learn both React and also Inertia. And that way, you also can get the unedited, unfiltered experience of what it is to learn something new. No tutorials, no bullshit. Maybe some bullshit, but no tutorials. All right, so what is next? Okay, so another div. Let's just copy this entire thing. Watching from the Philippines, I'm kind of scared of JS frameworks. Yeah, it's not an easy thing to it's not easy. I will give you that. Um but you know what? If it scares you, then you know that it's worth it. I don't know if that makes sense. But when something's scary, that's more reason for you to try it so that you can get past it, past the fear of trying. And if at the end you learn something new and you have something else to add to your repertoire, then you won. If you get to it, it was scary and you decided this is not for me, at least you know. You guys remember that line from God of War at the end? Spoilers. When he said, "Does it scare you? Then you must go." It's such a great game. What was the company name? What was the column for that? Create post table. Yeah, company name. Yeah, that you and everyone else, man. Of course. Don't be sorry. Be better. And the fact that the fact that Atreus says that to him later on in the second game. Perfect storytelling. Mwah. So I guess company name does not require a hint. Cool. I'll close this. Then we need salary. Optional. Didn't change the ID for the others, right? I did not. Oh, the tax, the tax. Okay. Do we have tags for this? Yes. Yes, we do. So if we had, we also have a relationship, if I'm not mistaken, in the post model with tags. So I'm trying to think of a simple enough way to implement those tags without having to create a tag input. And I guess the simplest way we can go, the simplest route we can go is a list of text checkboxes. Sorry. So we are going to have how many tags? Yeah, that's a lot of tags. Hmm. So I guess a list would not be very efficient, would it? Hmm. You're not getting me. Huh. Let me think. Let me think. I really don't want to have to. You know what? Let's see if this works. See if I can have. So these are the times when I do suggest you use OpenAI or ChatGPT. Not for you to let ChatGPT write your code, but to get past this kind of block that I have where I can't seem to move forward because of the either the complexity of the situation or because I have too many options. So to get past that, I can come here and say create an input to select different tags from a list using React and Tailwind CSS. All right, let's see what is going on here. So we have a tag selector, which is the input, receiving the options. Then we have a use state for selected tags and set selected tags, which is just an array. Toggle tag is just a method where we pass a tag and then use the set selected tags method and put that in the array. Whether or not put that in the array or remove it based on whether it was previously selected, I guess. If pref selected includes tag, pref selected filter, yeah. So if it's already there, take it out. If it's not, put it in. And then this is just a div. Div with flex. And then another div. With span. This span represents the tag. And then another div. Flex wrap got two, another, then we have options, map, and just rendering a bunch of buttons. I'm not sure if I like this. Yeah, I don't like that solution at all. Okay, let's see what this is about. Kind of nice, kind of nice. There is no... Oh, there is. Not shown. Here's what we want to do. Bootstrap a React project, create a tags, use tag hook. What? Is this tags? Use tag input. Kind of input. This is where I want to see the HTML. So it's a div with an input, a bunch of class names, and then another div to render all of the tags. I'm very tempted, very tempted. Just what is going on with you? Oh, my internet is gone. Okay, great. Nope, we're good. Don't scare me like that. Text. Is there a tag component here? No. Oh, interesting. I would have thought that there would be something to select a bunch of tags in this list of components, or am I not seeing it? Card carousel chart checkbox, collapsible combo box, command context, data table, date picker, dialog drawer, drop down menu form, hover card input, label, menu bar, navigation, pagination, pop over progress, radio groups, resizable scroll area, select. There's nothing to select area here. Sheets, skeleton, sliders, sonar, switch, table, tabs, text area, toast, toggle. There is none. Okay. Not tempted anymore. Are we creating tags in the database either, by any chance? We are. We are. We have 3 tags for each. So we have a bunch of tags actually. How many tags do we have? Oh, yeah. Obviously, these are all weird words, but still. I'm curious. What is there a hint of what they're using? Where is the page? Did I close it? Let's go here. Looks like they are creating or using a Alpine JS. Hmm. I'm gonna have to think about the tax input a bit more. I don't really have an answer of how to do that elegantly right now. I think a bunch of checkboxes will look absolutely horrendous. I don't want to use a drop down, sorry, a select input with multi select. I think that's cumbersome to use. So I don't know. I may up looking into how to create the input offline, like create something like this on React. But I don't want to go through that process right now. It's probably going to be a lot. Most likely, there's already a component out there. React has a very wide. In fact, let's just look for it. React multi select input. Hmm. How about this one? Doesn't look bad. It has its own set of CSS classes. So that's my one concern. Tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to research and look for a good component that works with the project using Tailwind CSS. If you have suggestions, you can leave them in the comments and I will look into those as well. And next Friday, we are going to try those out and maybe select the top three, the top three that I kind of like, and try those out live, see how they work, and just choose one. And we can go from there. And I am also going to look into the file upload. Just briefly, I'm not going to learn offline and just come back here. I'm just going to briefly read over it, just like an overview of how to use it, and then use it live and just struggle live. So that, like I said, no bullshit, some bullshit, no tutorials. But yeah, and hopefully at the end of all of that, we can then move on to actually actually create a record and show it in the list. And from there, we can move on to the list and clean it up a little, make it look good. We do have a lot of things to do. I think we are going to let it make a pause here for now. We're going to cut here and come back next week with more React and Inertia. If that's all right with you guys, thank you so much for everyone who joined today on this beautiful Friday. I hope you all have a great weekend from here on, and I'll see you again on Monday. If you found any of this helpful, don't forget to click the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, follow me on Twitch if you're not doing so already, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. And if you're on Twitch, stand by. We're going to find someone to raid. See. Who is live today? We have an indie hacker here. JetBrains Jigsaw. What is she doing? New renderer. Looks interesting. Either that or ferrets. Now let's stick with the programming thing. Never raided this person before, so that'll be interesting. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, and goodbye.